Magistrate Sanders, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, to approve the minutes as presented of the August 1st, 2023 Bullitt County Fiscal Court. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Lehman?
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, at this time, there are no guest speakers, so under the presentations, Corey Salzman and Travis Roberts talk about the Windstream fiber build-out update.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, Corey.
Real quick, we just wanted to provide a quick update on our public-private partnership deal with Bullitt County here. I'm Corey Salzman, Director of Field Operations with Windstream in Kentucky here. And this is Josh Smith. Travis couldn't make it today. He's our Manager of Engineering for this part of the state of Kentucky as well. So as everybody probably knows, we've got a public-private partnership deal here in place with Bullitt County. We're providing fiber service to 6,669 households, different areas of the county. That project is divided up into 44 separate smaller projects that we use to keep up with it. Current status of all those, engineering is complete for all 44 projects, separate projects in the deal here. We've got 18 that are currently still just a little bit held up, waiting on some DOT permits, some railroad permits, things like that. The other ones are out for bid to construction. Most of them, I think we've got, what, 12?
12 in Mount Washington.
Yeah, 12 in Mount Washington are already out, released. You know, we've got a winning bid for the contractors to start work there. We look to start probably construction on those 12 smaller projects over in the Mount Washington area sometime in September. So, you know, we're getting ready to have shovels in the ground, ready to move there. A few quick things. As I mentioned, we've got this divided among 44 projects, and we don't have to wait for all 44 projects to be complete to start providing service. So when one individual smaller project is complete, we'll go ahead and turn that up and start providing service to the customers that are in that small project area. And so as they start to turn up, you'll notice people will start being able to get the better service available to them as quickly as possible. We do that just because, you know, we've made got a major investment here from Bullitt County, and, you know, we're trying to deliver that promise to the customers as quickly as possible. So does anybody have any questions about that while we're here? We'll do our best to answer them. I think that's pretty much where we're at currently. Yes, sir.
Will you be coming off the Super Bowl road on any of the side streets between 65 and east?
Heading east, yes.
So we have a lot going down Cedar Grove.
Yeah, we're getting basically everything down Cedar Grove Road all the way to the Nelson County line. Yeah, side streets too. Yes, sir.
We may already have this, I haven't seen it recently, but do you all have an updated map of the roads that's affected by this, or the addresses? Is that something you could provide to the judge's office if possible?
We could probably get something like that. Now, you know, when we originally did it, it was kind of a broad scoped engineering project, but now that we've actually got it ready to release to contractors, we should have something that gets all the individual streets and all that. We can get you something like that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thanks so much. That way we know where those 44 projects are and how it affects each one of us.
Yep, we can do that. And who would we need to send that to? You may send it to?
You can just send it to us,
Yep,
and we'll
we can do that.
distribute it.
Yep, we'll get that. It shouldn't take us too long to get that. I can get that to you.
I really appreciate it.
Yep,
Thanks.
no problem. Anybody else? Any questions? Yes, sir.
You've all been at service out there on Sanson's Road, on Fifth Road.
Fitz Point. I've been on Fitz Point. It's
Right
been.
out of Shepherd's Field, as you get up 44 before you get to the
44
Is it on
west.
the west side of 65?
Yes, that way.
I don't think that's in our project.
Yeah, most everything. I believe the bulk of everything here is mainly in what we would deem our Shepherdsville market from I-65 over towards Nelson County and then north.
Right.
But I'll double check and we'll follow up with that as well. Anybody else have anything?
But I can help him. That's part of the discussions that we've had to move forward after this project, is to go west on 44
Yeah,
as
we
well.
talked about that. We
Right.
They didn't map for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
How long do you think this
I think in the contract calls to be completed by, I'd have to,
February of 25.
yeah, February of 25.
Yep.
And, you know, we'll be done by then, but you'll start to see some of these, you know, if you just take the area we've got encompassed here, divided into 44 pieces, as each one gets complete, you know, we may finish one in 4 months, for example, right? If it's done in 4 months, that small area, that the first one we get completed, customers will start working there, and then we'll keep moving along. So, yeah, we'll definitely beat the deadline, that's for sure.
Residents be happy.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Anything else? Any questions?
Really appreciate you coming in and giving us an update.
Yep.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all having us. Really
Corey,
do.
Corey, thank you all, and John as well. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Next one is Scott Brown from Phil Brown Insurance, from our KCO partners.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Scott.
For those who don't know me, my name is Scott Brown, Phil Brown Insurance Agency. We are the local KCO Benefits Group representative for your area. I'm here today to go over the upcoming health insurance. You actually will not be getting a renewal this year. As many of you probably know, Humana has left the employer group health insurance market, which is your current carrier. So we went and got bids from other carriers for comparison. The other two major fully insured carriers being United Healthcare and Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Everybody should have this booklet. I won't go through every page, but I did want to point out a couple of things. On page 4 is your claims history for the most recent 12 months, which is running pretty high. You had $2.1 million in premium for the prior 12 months, and the claims on the far right were just shy of 2.1 million. So we almost had as much claims as premium. And then below that are your large claimants, just so you can see all that's been de-identified. But those were large claimants in your group. On page 7 is your current 4 plans with Humana, how much the county pays, and how much the employees pay. I know there's a lot of numbers here. The yellow is what the county cost is based on the current enrollment. And then on page 8 and page 9 are the proposals from United Healthcare. The insurance committee has met, and they are recommending the option on page 9, which is a 13% increase to the county. This would keep the employee cost the same as it is today. The benefit plans are almost the same. However, there's a couple things I wanted to point out that are different. On the 2 health savings accounts, the deductibles have been increased in order to continue to maintain them as health savings accounts. So every year the IRS releases updated guidance on the minimum deductibles that you can have and still have a health savings account. They increased those for 2024, so therefore we increased those for that reason to maintain that eligibility. So the first one, the core plan, goes from $3,000 to $3,200, and the buy-up HSA goes from $1,500 to $1,600. The buy-up PPO plan is a hybrid of the other 2 plans you had. You had a buy-up PPO, and then you had their Humana Simplicity plan. There was low enrollment in both of those, so we kind of combined the 2 and came up with a hybrid plan, which is now called the PPO buy-up plan. As you can see, not a whole lot of people took that option, so we think it's a good approach to get rid of one of the plans since they weren't very popular. This option on page 9 assumes that you would also take dental and vision from United Healthcare, and those are on pages 13 and 14. So if you can see how those compare to your current dental plans. So on page 13, the committee wanted to introduce a buy-up dental plan to give employees the choice to purchase a better plan that included coverage for braces if they wanted it, as well as some other enhancements. This is 100% employee paid, so there's no cost to the county for this benefit. But if you take it through United Healthcare, United did discount your medical rates by having a bundling, all 3 bundled with them. So. And then the vision is on page 14, which matches up very close to your current plan, but again, at a little bit of a discount. The rest of the booklet is your Mutual of Omaha and your other coverages. There were no increase to any of those, so everything stayed the same on the other lines of coverage. I'll be glad to go over any other pages or answer any questions. Oh, I did do a network analysis report. We took all the providers that your employees saw over the past year and sent it to United and said, hey, are any of these out of network? And they determined that 99.92% were in network. So very few were out of network. And actually, Humana was like 99.4 something. So it's actually an improvement. Picked up a few providers.
Which chart did you say was the most common chosen plan by our employees in comparison to what it was, what it will be?
Yeah, it's really split between the core HSA and the buy-up HSA. You can see the employee counts. They're kind of broken out, by single and by family. But if you look at the top line where it says monthly cost, you can see there's 55 single people in the core HSA, 8 with employee spouse, 13 with children, 8 with family, and then it repeats for each of the plans. So you see the vast majority are in those 2 HSA plans.
Okay.
Pretty split fairly evenly between the two. So you've got 201 people or employees enrolled in total.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing is just trying to find something that we're not passing any additional cost on to our employees.
Right. And
Still, did you say 13% increase is what it would be?
It would be, yes.
Yep.
I did want to mention, though, that we've been pretty successful at keeping the rates in check over the past few years. In fact, these rates are still less than when we took over in 2019. So this will actually be the first increase we've had. Every other year it's been a decrease.
And did you say the 13% increase was at the county?
yeah,
That assumes the county absorbs it all, correct?
yeah,
Oh,
it's on our level.
Correct. The
Yeah,
actual,
so we're not taking away any of the $2 an hour raise that we gave the employees for medical.
So they're not going to be out any extra, it's 13% from.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
And to help you, Karen, it's, in 2019, we paid $2,400,000 the first year that we were here, reducing the, and I think the employees who are here in the room remember that we literally put $200-300 back in the paycheck by what we did do on the employee side of payment. It was $2,463,000 is what we paid then, and we're paying $2 million. Was it 2,005,000 something? No, that's Anthem. 2,403,000 with United. Yeah, so.
You all have a sheet, you all feel comfortable?
Because the other option would be Aetna, or Anthem, is 24% increase.
That's correct, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then another option is 16%.
Yes, the difference, the 16% is assuming you only take medical with United. The 13.1 is if you also take their dental and their vision.
So it's,
Yep.
and those are increasing the small bit, the vision and the dental.
Those actually go down, except for the buy-up dental plan, which is a new plan. That is more expensive, but if employees want to keep the same plan they have now, it would be a 1.5% decrease in rates, yeah. And if they want to pay more for the better plan, they could, but that's their choice.
I want to jump over to the dental.
Mm-hmm.
The dental insurance, it doesn't pay anything for orthodontist?
The current plan does not, which was the reason for adding the buy-up plan, which then would. So if employees had children on the plan and they thought they might need orthodontic coverage, and they could purchase the buy-up plan instead, and that would provide coverage for braces.
That's something that we don't have that currently.
We do not have it currently, correct? Yeah, so when we,
Maybe that'd be better.
If I missed
yeah. Yeah, so when we met with the insurance committee a month or two ago, they said the same thing. It'd be nice if we had orthodontia coverage, so that was the reason for having that second plan option.
So we feel comfortable with money, we got, everything's
Yep.
good with the increase,
Yep.
there to handle this.
Yeah, and Keiko's the biggest discount we can get because economies of scale with the volume of, let's put what the members that they have in the pool.
Do we need any action on this presentation today, or is this a presentation, or do we need to, when is open, we need to make a move? Open enrollment's coming up very.
Yep.
It's on
Oh,
number 6
okay.
on
Yeah.
Skip to it right now, can we?
Yes, that would be fine.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead, because I know for the last years I've been here, I know Keiko, I mean, does an amazing job, and you'll have a strong partnership with them, and I think you just mentioned it, it takes a lot of legwork out for us by you going out there competitively, and trying to see what you can do to try to save us some money. Nobody likes an increase, but I don't want to pass any increase if we can afford to do it as a county onto our employees. It's hard enough to keep retention and stuff, so I think that if you feel comfortable that we're able to move forward with a 13% increase, I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal, and I guess the language needs to be that somebody help me out, that we accept the agreement with Phil Brown Insurance Agency to provide health care coverage for our employees moving forward. Is that next open enrollment, or when does that start?
Yeah, with United Healthcare, you have for medical, dental, and vision, if that's the option you want, yeah.
bundled
Okay,
plan.
I really butchered that up. I can start that over. Can you get that? Can you make sense of that?
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the presentation by Phil Brown Insurance Agency with a partnership and agreement with United Healthcare to provide health insurance and medical and dental.
Vision, yep.
Anything else I need to add? You got life?
That's stay put, that's good,
Okay.
yeah.
That's in the same way.
Same.
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, I have a motion to accept Phil Brown Insurance proposal in agreement with United Healthcare by Second District Magistrate Logston, a second by First District Magistrate Sanders. Any other discussion?
Thanks for putting all these numbers together and stuff. I know it takes a lot of time there.
Yep.
Run that report.
You're welcome.
That's really eye-opening too, to see the different, it's interesting to see the different plans there.
Yep.
And who chose what. I like seeing that.
Okay.
I might be on the wrong plan.
No,
I'm good.
you're good. All right. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Longston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes. Okay. Thank you,
you.
Kevin. Thank you, Scott.
Good to see everybody,
And,
thanks so much.
We'll start over.
Getting open enrollment going.
There you go. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
At this time, Brian Whitaker. Come on up. Medical insurance for our medical provider for the detention center.
How's everybody doing today? Good. I've had the pleasure to talk to every single one of you all up here about the change of medicals. It's not meeting our expectations. We've had a lot of issues, so myself and the current medical team has mutually agreed to change to a more correctional type medical team. In this contract, it'll be cheaper, be 24-hour coverage, and also will bring in 15 hours of mental health care. So there's a lot of benefits to this. I feel very comfortable with this, and it will meet our expectations and the county's expectations also. One thing I did see on that contract, it should say the start date should be August 23rd at 12:01 a.m. So asking you all to pass this, and if y'all don't mind doing that for me.
And Judge, I did review the contract and it's legally acceptable. I didn't see any issues.
Thank you.
Yeah, and culvert runs to August something of 2026.
Yeah, it's for 3 years.
Yeah, 2026.
What was the name of the health group? Is there a
It's-
group?
We're going to QCHC,
Yeah,
who is a national correctional provider. Right now, we're with Bardstown Prompt, and of course, we're leaving on good terms. It's nothing bad, but we both agreed it's just not working out to our expectations on both ends. So my primary concern is taking care of the inmates, the best medical care that we can provide them, and I think this is a better direction.
Can you provide that date and time one more time?
It should say the begin date, August 23rd, 2023 at 12:01 a.m.
yep.
And it's actually going to the county line?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Again, they're also going to provide mental health, which has been a battle in the corrections field, and that's something we are continuously trying to provide. And matter of fact, we're working on a grant right now to bring in, I think it's like up to 30 hours of mental health to the facility. It's a work in progress. We're working with the REACH
yeah,
program
it goes to August
with
31st,
a organization down in Somerset, Kentucky.
2026.
So,
Yeah, that's when it starts.
You're working on a grant for 30 hours of mental
I
health?
believe it's like 30 hours.
Is that?
It's a work in progress. It's a, matter of fact, I can go down there Friday. I can't remember the name of the organization. It's a doctor that's the head of it. I'm gonna go down there with the REACH program Friday down to Somerset and meet with them and see where we're at with things. We have to get mental health in this jail. We are housing, quite frankly, I'm gonna be blunt about it. Central State and what's the other facility? They're so backlogged right now with mental health, 6 months up to a year. And the only place that these people that's been arrested with mental health problems is a jail. It's a big epidemic throughout the United States. And with that mental health, these folks really don't have a lot of hope. So that's something we all have to work on. And if we can get mental health in here, it's going to be a big plus for us.
Yep.
That's something that we're all passionate about.
Okay,
I don't care to put that in the form of a motion that we accept the health agreement at the Bullitt County Jail with QCHC.
Yes, sir.
Starting effective August 23rd at 12:01 a.m.
Yes, sir.
yep.
Second.
Got a motion by Second District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by Fourth District Magistrate Blamel to enter into an agreement with QCHC,
QCHC, yeah.
health providers for the jail,
Thank you.
effective August 23rd, running through August 31st of 2026, with 30 days notice by each to terminate the contract. Kevin, call the roll.
Mr. Logston,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Blamel,
Yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
I want to say thank you all for your support to the detention center. Every single one of y'all, I appreciate it. Sheriff, you too. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Okay.
Great job.
Yep. Okay, Charlie. First reading, public hearing of zoning ordinance 23-26, John Reed Jr.
Planning docket 2023 Z37, John Reed Jr., seeking to rezone from B2 to R4, located at Lot B on Yorkshire Boulevard, parcel 019-W00-03-08, an unincorporated area of the county, 2.9 acres more or less. Purpose is to put a mobile home on the property. Future land use map is agricultural or rural residential. Bullock County Planning Commission pursuant to provisions of KRS 100.211 held a public hearing concerning the application on July 13th, 2023. Based upon the testimony of the applicants and their proponents, the Bullock County Planning Commission finds the map amendment is not in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan. However, it is surrounded by R4 zoning. There is a restriction added that no more than 2 mobile or modular homes be placed on the property. Because of the testimony received at the planning hearing, the Bullock County Planning Commission recommends this requested zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Bullock County Fiscal Court.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullock, zoning ordinance number 23-26. An ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from B2 central business to R4 residential. Property in question is 2.9 acres, more or less, located at Lot B, Yorkshire Boulevard, parcel number 019-W00-03-078 in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullock County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullock County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullock, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullock County and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2023Z-37 is hereby changed from B2 central business to R4 residential. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullock County Fiscal Court on the 15th day of August 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullock County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of September 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Anyone here to speak for zoning ordinance 23-26? John Reed Jr. Go ahead. Yes, come on up, John.
Good morning. My name is John Reed Jr. I'm the current owner of the property. I've owned this property since about 2007. I've been trying to sell it. It was for sale. I got an active contract on the contingency of zoning R4. It touches multiple R4 lots. It really doesn't make sense for it to be B2. There's nothing business related up there. So that's why I'm pursuing this.
All right. And I do have one question. Is that cemetery part of this?
My understanding from when I bought it, the cemetery was deeded separately. And if you look on the plot plan, you'll see there's a 10-foot easement to the cemetery. There's a roughly a 55 by 75 area carved out that's labeled separate. So it's not part of it.
I was just wanting to be sure when I bounced up there and looked at it all, it just sort of, it all looked contiguous, let's put it that way.
Yeah, my understanding from when I bought the property in 2005 or 7,
Okay.
when I first talked to them, it was 3.1, and then I had the surveyor come in and they knocked it down to 2.9 because they took out that 0.2 of the cemetery.
Okay, thank you, John.
So are you saying that little spot right there where the cemetery, all the property around it is deeded another way? Or-
That is my understanding.
Because I do have concerns about that cemetery.
My understanding is that cemetery is deeded different. It's not my property. That's my understanding when I bought the property, yes. And if you look at the plot plans, it shows a 75 by 55 area, what the 10-foot easement coming into it.
This is one we can just plot plan for. But that's, I mean, this is the first reading. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Reed? Thank you. Anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 23-26? John Reed Jr. Hearing or seeing none, First reading public hearing for zoning ordinance 23-27. Ronald and Norma Lee. Charlie?
Planning docket 2023-Z38, Ronald and Norma Lee, seeking to rezone from Ag and R1 to R1, located at, that's wrong. I apologize. This one is located at 216 Bethel Church and 7502 Highway 44 East, parcel 063-000-00-078, an unincorporated area of the county.
Yeah.
4 point,
Charlie,
Charlie,
just
but
before you go any
did-
further,
did-
just a second, I think,
Yeah, the Norma Lee one is at Knob Creek.
And it is
Sorry.
adding R1 to R1.
my fault,
Yeah.
sorry. Let me
Good.
start over.
Well, they're all combined on the same pages. It's a little bit different this time.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought this was with the next one. Sorry.
It's
All right.
okay.
Planning docket 2023-Z38, Ronald and Norma Lee.
Yep.
Ag and R1 to R1, located at 4046 Knob Creek Road, parcel 018-000-00-125, in an unincorporated area of the county. 4.528 acres more or less, dividing off the front lot and consolidate the rear portions. Future land use map calls for agricultural and rural residential. The Bullitt County Planning Commission, pursuant to the provisions of KRS 100.211, held a public hearing concerning the application on July 13th, 2023. Based upon the testimony of the applicants and the proponents, the Bullitt County Planning Commission finds the map amendment is in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan and matches surrounding zonings. Based upon the testimony, the Bullitt County Planning Commission recommends the requested zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Bullitt County Fiscal Court.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-27. An ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from agricultural and R1 residential to R1 residential. Property in question is 4.528 acres, more or less, located at 4046 Knob Creek Road, parcel number 018-000-00-125, in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2023-Z-38, is hereby changed from agricultural and R1 residential to R1 residential. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 15th day of August 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of September 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Anyone here to speak for zoning ordinance 23-27, Ronald and Norma Lee? Anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 23-27, Ronald and Norma Lee? Okay. First reading and public hearing for zoning ordinance 23-28, Larry and Caroline Terry.
Should I do this right the first time?
Okay.
Planning docket 2023-Z39, Larry and Carolyn Terry, seeking to rezone from Ag and R2 to Ag, located at 216 Bethel Church Road and 7502 Highway 44 East, parcel 063-000-00-078, in an unincorporated area of the county. 16.714 acres more or less, dividing off and bringing the property into compliance. Future land use map calls for low-density residential. The Bullitt County Planning Commission, pursuant to provisions of KRS 100.211, held a public hearing concerning the application on July 13th, 2023. Based upon the testimony of the applicants and their proponents, the Planning Commission finds the map amendment is not in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan, but there is existing agricultural land that will attach to it. There were no added restrictions. Because of the testimony received at the public hearing, the Bullitt County Planning Commission recommends this requested zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Bullitt County Fiscal Court.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-28. An ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from agricultural and R2 residential to agricultural. The property in question is 16.714 acres, more or less, located at 216 Bethel Church Road and 7502 Highway 44 East, parcel number 063-000-00-078 in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2023Z-39, is hereby changed from agricultural and R2 residential to agricultural. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 15th day of August, 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of September, 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Anyone here speak for zoning ordinance 23-28? Larry and Carolyn Terry. Yeah. Morning, Mr. Terry.
All I'm trying to do is change things back from R2 back to Ag on 7502 Highway 44 down in my home front and all that stuff right there. And be in compliance with it. I'm sorry. My hand here.
Your advisor.
Yeah. But all we're trying to do is get everything back in compliance the way it should have been. We didn't know the circumstances of what it was prior to all this. And so since my father passed away, I wound up with a bunch of headaches.
Okay.
So
All right.
all we're trying to do is get it back.
Okay. Any questions?
No, there's another reading right after this, but I mean, those go hand in hand with this. And I know I've talked to you, you're currently my district, because Kevin stole you from me from that time. Yeah.
Y'all get along.
No, but no, we talked about this, and obviously, yeah, I don't see any concerns at all with this. I mean, you're it's a split zoning right now. You're just trying to clean it up and get it in compliance, and
Right.
there's no action today, but I do know there'll be another reading, another one here next coming up right now.
So they'll be in my district.
But they're going to be in your district. Kevin stole them from me. Next election cycle or whatever.
Okay.
You got stolen from me.
Okay. There you go. Okay, well, thank
Y'all
you.
have to get along.
There you go. Anyone, yeah, in here by order, anyone here speak against zoning ordinance 23-28, Larry and Carolyn Terry? Hearing none, thank you all. Charlie? 23-28.
Planning docket 2023-Z-40, Larry and Carolyn
29.
Terry, seeking
Yep.
to rezone from Ag and R2 to R1, located at 216 Bethel Church and 7502 Highway 44E, parcel 063-000-00-078, in an unincorporated area of the county, 32.25 acres, more or less. The purpose is to divide off and sell. Future land use map calls for low-density residential. The Boulder County Planning Commission, pursuant to provisions of KRS 100.211, held a public hearing concerning the application on July 13th, 2023. Based upon the testimony of the applicants and our proponents, the Boulder County Planning Commission finds the map amendment is in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan. There are no added restrictions. Because of the testimony received at the public hearing, the Boulder County Planning Commission recommends this requested zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Boulder County Fiscal Court.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-29, an ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from agricultural and R2 residential to R1 residential. Property in question is 32.25 acres, more or less, located at 216 Bethel Church Road and 7502 Highway 44 East. Parcel number 063-000-00-078 in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2023-Z-40, is hereby changed from agricultural and R2 residential to R1 residential. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 15th day of August, 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of September, 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Again, anyone here to speak for zoning ordinance 23-29, Larry and Carolyn Terry. Okay.
The 32.5 acres back there in the back, all I'm gonna do, eventually put it up for sale. If I don't sell it, I'll let it grow up. I don't have to sell it, but it's, y'all can see I'm falling apart like an old Chevy truck. So, I'm just trying to better my way of life, family, everything like it right there. And something happens, that can be done. That's all I've got.
Anything else? Members? We thank you. Anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 23-29? Hearing none. Number 5, first reading and public hearing for zoning ordinance 2330, Cox Family Trust, Leslie Sandiford, and Lawrence Frank trustees.
Planning docket 2023-Z-43, Cox Family Trust, Leslie Sandiford and Lawrence Frank trustee, seeking to rezone from Ag to R1, located at 383 Kinder Lane, listed as PVA map 065-000-00-033H, located in the unincorporated area of the county. 1.5 acres more or less. Purpose is split off to build a single-family dwelling. Comprehensive plan calls for low-density residential. The Bullitt County Planning Commission, pursuant to provisions of KRS 100.211, held a public hearing on the application on July 13th, 2023. Based upon the testimony of the applicants and our proponents, the Bullitt County Planning Commission finds the map amendment is in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan, and there is R1 in the area. No restrictions were added. Because of the testimony received at the public hearing, the Bullitt County Planning Commission recommends this requested zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Bullitt County Fiscal Court.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-30, an ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 1.507 acres, more or less, located at 383 Kinder Lane, parcel number 065-000-00-033H, in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2023Z-42, is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 15th day of August 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of September 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Anyone here to speak for zoning ordinance 23-30, the Cox Family Trust? Anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 23-30, the Cox Family Trust? Thank you all. We've completed number 6. Number 7, the procurement policy for purchases made with the ARPA funding monies. The policy changed for the state, or for us this year, to $40,000. Sykes and Harbinson are folks who give us guidance on the proper procedures for spending the ARPA funding, is recommending that we put this into our procurement policy as well, noting the ARPA funds.
So this is
It's an update, is what it is, Brian, because before it was like 30,000, the state's raised it to 40. Sykes wants to make sure that we recognize that as a court, so when they report our ARPA funding, that we've passed a resolution. This will also go into our administrative code meeting after next, when we finalize that as well. But we need that now because our reporting it's starting again right now. We report monthly and quarterly.
I'll put it in the form of a motion.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion by 4th District Magistrate Blamel, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon to approve the procurement policy. Goes up to $40,000 for our ARPA funding recommended by Sykes and Harbinson. As there are guidance in the proper procedures for spending the funding. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 8, discussion of administrative code. What we've done for the members of the court, you'll receive a new copy if you haven't already. What we've done, we've taken out all the, what I'm going to say, personnel-related policies in our administrative code and separated them out. So for your all's education purposes, if you would look at all that between now and the next meeting, And if you have any recommendations or changes, we can discuss it at the meeting, or we can discuss it with Janice and ourselves in between time as well. So, but that's what we would like to do, and that way we'll have it separated out to where we have an administrative code and then a personnel policy handbook as well. That's fair enough. Any other questions, members, on that? Okay. We have a list of surplus items for code enforcement and planning and zoning. It's attached. There's a couple of printers and a couple of computer monitors, or one computer monitor, for sure.
I'll put that in the form of a motion to accept the surplus item list provided by Bullitt County Code Enforcement.
I'll second.
And planning and zoning.
Yes, and I have a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson to accept the surplus items for code enforcement and planning and zoning. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Blingell,
Yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Logston,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last item on here is request an action, and I'll make the motion to hire 2 EMS EMT employees at a rate of $19.50 an hour, Mr. Ornstein and Mr. Breinstein, effective the 23rd of August.
Second that motion.
And I have a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Logston,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Blingell.
Yes.
The third one on here is Hallie Myers. I have the experts in the room, but what we're having to do moving forward is, due to Medicare and Medicaid, we're going to have to absolutely itemize any and everything that we do moving forward with our EMS. And we've also had, we're down a full-time employee as well, and we have another one who's getting ready to leave also on the administrative side. So we're recommending Hallie Myers. We've interviewed her to start an annual salary of $41,600, starting on 8/24 of 2023. And if you have any questions, members, Janice is here, and Chris and is here as well.
So this is,
No, well, yes, this is backfilling one right now, but there will be a new position coming up. We're advertising for another administrative person as well. We need an extra person, Brian. We had a part-time person and 2 full-times. Now we have 1 full-time and 1 part-time
so one person hired her.
left. Absolutely. And I'm gonna make the recommendation to hire her.
So is she part-time right
No, she's not here at all. She's currently employed elsewhere.
And the new position will be, they'll be working like side by side,
Yeah.
same type of roles.
Yeah, they'll all be working together and cross-trained as well.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any other discussion, members? Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Sanders,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Blingell,
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes. And we also have an adjustment here, Crystal Krebs. There's no change in salary, but we're wanting to make her from being paid hourly to salaried, and changing her title to payroll coordinator as well.
That way it's salary. It's no change, it's what she's currently making. She makes,
Mhm.
We currently don't have a payroll coordinator, it's just, she's still an employee, but we're just,
Right, we're just changing the title all the way around because Janice used to do the same thing when she was at EMS. We have close to 90 employees down there and it's,
Trying to narrow down, give everybody actual titles instead of just having administrative assistants. That way when I'm making up these job descriptions, I know what they're supposed to be.
right.
I'll second that motion.
Any other discussion? Brian, you comfortable?
no, I'm comfortable.
Okay. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, oh, the recycling center. Yeah, I forgot about, I missed him. He was at the top of the page. What we're looking to do, we're went and hired Noel Sissel as a part-time recycling attendant, so we can keep the recycling center open on Monday as well. It'll be open 6 days a week, and then that way he will be able to fill in for when the other two folks are out. And, well, we're not even open on Mondays, so he'll be opening the place up on Monday. So it'll be open Monday through Saturday, and then he'll also fill in when one of the other two are out as well, instead of having to. We don't want to get the part-time employees as full-time part-time employees as well. At $15 an hour.
Nice to have it. I'll second that motion.
Okay. Yeah. Any other discussion? Okay. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Thank you all. At this time, Brian, you want to start? You got any other comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah, so I've got someone in my district that, actually more than one, that lives on Nightingale Way, and they want to see if they can get it paved. And they've lived there 27 years, and it was paved the second year they were there, so that's 25 years that it hasn't been. It does have a seam down the middle of the road. That's where it's all
Okay.
apart, full of potholes. So I just wanted to bring that up. It's
Okay.
a pretty bad one that needs to be, it needs pavement.
Okay. Nightingale Road, I'll put that on the list. 44 East, gotcha. Okay. Anything else, Brian? Okay. Karen? Okay. Sean?
I don't have anything. I know we do have this brochure. You might
Right.
remind people of this. And then there's another event. What is that event?
That's a hazardous waste.
Hazardous. So what,
Yep.
so I guess just reminding people here, you might watch, and we've got the hazardous waste, and that's on 9/9, September the 9th, and then the Bullitt County Waste Tire Collection event dated 30. So I guess you can go to our Facebook page, post the brochures and stuff on there, but two really, I know, popular events that kind of clean up this community, especially that waste tire event. I just remind people of those, but outside of that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Vera?
I have nothing to say.
Okay. All right. I just want to thank, well, she's gone now, Teresa Preston, Councilwoman from Lebanon Junction, Mayor Dangerfield, and Mayor Taylor, who are both here as well, and all of y'all for participating. And y'all have a safe Labor Day. And remember all those who helped make us so successful publicly and privately, because Labor Day is their day. Vera, what time is it?
10:36, it's time to adjourn.
Okay. I have a motion to adjourn in a second by 4th District Magistrate Blemo. Kevin, call the roll, please. Vera? Uh-huh.
All right, Mr. Blingell,
Yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Logston,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you all. Court's adjourned. See you all in September.